allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We're going to arrange this a little bit different than the last couple meetings. We're going to conduct the business. We'll have public comment at the very end, because it takes quite a while last couple meetings, and like I said, if God bless you want to speak, that's what you're here for. This is your rights. Roll call, please, Mr. Secretary.
Roll call. Brett Brown.
Present.
Steve Hofffield.
Present.
Nancy Morgan.
Present.
Rody Shaw. Present. Leo Spence.
The consider of the agenda. I've got a couple of some additions I'd like to add to it. Under old business, I want to add the financial report which you prepared for us, what was paid this month, so I'll put that up now. And under the old business, we'll do the finance officer, would that be correct? Okay. Then we're going to add the truck rep, because I'm sure a lot of people here have got questions about that, including us as board members. And the Indiana Township Association, we moved that to the front, so that's already been taken care of. Did I hear a motion to accept those?
I have an addition.
I want to add one thing too.
Okay.
I just want to add, I went to the Lions Club meeting Tuesday, was it?
Yes.
Tuesday, just talk about the Lions Club a little bit. So,
Yeah, we can add that under new business.
yep.
Okay. Nancy, you got something?
Yeah, I just wanted to add the discussion on the fuel fund. We
Okay.
discussed it.
We've already discussed that.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have to vote on it.
We're gonna vote on it at the end here, that's good. We'll put that under new business as well. So, next will be consider the approval of February 28th minutes. I never approved first.
Oh,
We have a second on that?
I'll second. Who approved first?
I thought you did.
I did.
Yes.
You get seconds.
I'll second that.
Second.
Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Okay, Leo, you wanna read the minutes, please?
Alright, February 28th, 2023, officially community building, 6 p.m. minutes for meeting, the Lincoln Township trustee board members. Had a meeting starting at 6:02 p.m. Central Time at the community building, open to the public to discuss issues with trustee, fire department, and board. The meeting was led with a pledge by board member Steve Hollenfield. The building was full of members of the township and 2 county sheriff deputies for security, excuse me. We had a special guest on Zoom from the Township Association from Indy, Kevin Evans was his name. The Zoom meeting was in place and talked about duties and questions.
no, I couldn't understand your writing. I didn't know what that word was.
Kevin's questions Kevin did questions and answers. The part of the meeting lasted till 6:47. We continued on with trustee Nancy reading letters to Amber and Walker and stated why she sent them. Then Steve read a letter sent to Bill on his issue. We did public comment. A lot of the public upset and puzzled on the decision made to let the firefighters go. The public comment lasted 1 hour. We then discussed new business with new fire chief who was not present. Then we talked about the new fire department members and getting new gear. Board received quotes and equipment, quotes for gear and equipment. During the meeting, nothing was voted on along with the new bylaws for the township and the fire department. There is also not a vote on new gear equipment. We discussed old business on the furnace in the community building and township insurance. And at 7:50 p.m., the board member Steve Hollifield adjourned the meeting, seconded by me.
Okay, so we move on to old business with none, but I guess we still got the bylaws in the contract. They've already approved, the minutes are approved. We've got to, these new bylaws and the, contract with fire department. Do you have copies of those?
I'm sorry, what?
The bylaws with the new corporation and the contract.
The bylaws are not our bylaws. They are the fire department's bylaws.
Okay, so we don't get a say in them, we don't approve them or anything.
That's
No
correct.
questions at all.
That's correct.
There you go. So, okay, so. Now, the question I do have on that, you told us that they couldn't be a firefighter on that board, correct?
There couldn't be a fire, no, I never said that.
That's what Brody said, right?
On your board,
On,
your board.
no, the board for the new bylaws that created the new entity.
I said I wouldn't recommend it.
Okay, she got a firefighter on her apparently. So, okay, we'll go to, well, I guess we'll do the finance officer now. I make a motion that we appoint Brett Friend to that position.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, that's carried, that's done. Brent, you'll work with Nancy on that end of it. Okay, on the new board, on the new business. You're sure all aware there was a truck wreck out here the other day. My personal opinion, that was an avoidable accident. I'm waiting to get the police report, it's supposed to be emailed to me tomorrow, it is done. Another question I have on that is, I spoke with Randy Novak, the former fire chief of Michigan City. I asked him, what should we look for on the bottom of that truck? And he said that truck should be sent in for inspection. Is it being sent in?
As far as I know, yes.
When and where?
It's gonna go to the truck center, I'm not sure when.
How much, what's the insurance have to say on all that?
I called the insurance company, I haven't heard back from them yet.
Okay.
With a brief description of what happened, or is it?
If I can talk, I can explain it, I don't know if I'm allowed.
Is the fire chief here?
I don't know, is he?
No, I don't see him here.
I advised him yesterday that he should probably be present.
Okay, I can, by what I understand, what I've been told, they were doing their weekly truck check, where they take the trucks out and check, make sure everything's, they lube them up or whatever, you know. And then he was coming from a dry hydrant, approximately a tenth of a mile, and I asked Google what that was, 530 yards from the dry hydrant. He was crossing a culvert that had guardrails, and I have the weather report from that night. At that time, it said there was that's not funny. There was a 22-mile-an-hour gust of wind, which he says, when he came across that culvert, he felt the gust of wind. The front tire went over in the soft berm between the road and the guardrail. He held it there and didn't hit the guardrail until he cleared the guardrail and the front tire was pulled off in the side, in the front, and it kind of started going down a little bit, but it didn't tip. We had to get the tow truck out there to pull it off, but no one was injured. There were 3 people in there. He wasn't, I mean, it had 1,000 gallons of water in it. I don't know how, some people are saying it was speeding, but I don't know how you get 1,000 gallons of water in a fire truck, 530 feet to be speeding, but.
Well, okay, we'll get the police report, they'll say. I've owned enough equipment in my life, I still have a hard time believing that, because he rubbed against that guardrail down there.
At the very end.
And the trail there, he could have either, if he was going very, very slowly, he could have hit the brakes and stopped. The question was, is Jesse Cook driving it?
Yes, Jesse
Okay,
Cook was.
is he listed on as one of our firefighters? Because I've been told he's also listed on Washington Township also. And I'm waiting to hear from a phone call to check that.
He is listed on our fire department. He is a 19-year, he has been a firefighter for 19 years. He's not a rookie.
Do we have a tow bill yet?
I believe it was $4,200 some odd dollars. I don't know. I didn't pick it up at the fire station yet. And I'm debating, I don't know what it would be worth turning it into the insurance, or do we pay it?
You're gonna have all of that because you're gonna have repairs on the truck and everything else.
I know.
What's the,
Well-
what's the agent say?
I
What,
haven't heard-
first of all, what's our deductible?
I believe our deductible is $1,000. The only thing that we saw damage wise, it runs fine, they took it out and ran it, it runs fine, the only thing, there was a little bar that scraped the back, the front, very front of the guardrail where the front tire started pulling them over. It scraped that and it took that bar off, other than that,
But we don't know the internal damage underneath yet.
well, they took it out and run it and everything seems fine, but they are gonna get it checked.
Okay. What kind of discipline procedure are they gonna, go against him?
I took him to LaPorte Hospital for a drug test and drug and alcohol test. And they would not do it because he was not injured. So I took him over to the Beacon over there by the high school. They don't do it. So we called the police came out to the
They did a
site.
portable.
They did a portable,
Yeah, he blew zero, right? I confirmed all that
Yes.
with
yes.
LI. Any reason why quick towing was called? I mean, I don't believe they've got the ability to handle the big trucks, do they? Unless
They did.
unless
They
bought
pulled it
something
out.
certainly.
I don't know,
Was there, were they trying to use the brush truck to pull it out at first?
no,
Okay, just going by what citizens are telling us, so. Like I said, he needs to be some discipline procedure against him,
why?
because that was an avoidable accident in my opinion. I'm
No.
sorry, it was an avoidable
I
accident.
had the sheriff's department come out and do measurements on it. Veteran from the sheriff's department do drag test on it, and it's approximately 150 some feet, which at that drag mark is over about 56 miles an hour on the charts.
Okay,
So-
can I make a statement? I don't know if I'm stepping out of line or not, but can I ask why you guys are getting involved with the fire department? You are financials
Well,
on the
because
advisory
I will tell you
board.
this much right now, and if there's a problem with the state, they can come see me anytime they want. The community is questioning us and asking us to get involved, that's why. We serve
Okay.
them, that is all, not the fire department, not you.
Didn't Pleasant flip a truck, Center flipped a truck,
Yep.
Scipio's buried
Yep.
trucks? Accidents happen. It was not intended.
It was not, it was avoidable in my opinion.
Well, that's your opinion,
Someone
I'm
said
sorry.
that he wasn't experiencing that kind of truck too, that he wasn't supposed to be.
He's
and
been
that
a
was for the chief.
firefighter for 19 years.
But that was the chief Kyle, someone told me on the fire department, Kyle told him he was not supposed to drive that truck.
I'm not aware of that.
Do we
Never
have any
heard it.
firefighters here tonight?
I don't see any, I wouldn't understand why Kyle's not here.
So,
This is the reason, probably.
why? Because they're gonna be asked questions. We'll get to public
No.
comment here at the end, please.
I got the county highway coming out looking at that tube too, just to make sure there's no damage to that. There's a tube that ran over a culvert.
A what?
A culvert, a pipe, drainage
It's
pipe.
on the berm of the road, right there.
He went down on the
between-
culvert though too, Nancy. I work for the county highway, I know.
Yeah, I know, I saw you out there.
That's fine. I was supposed to, that's my job. I was supposed to go out there and see what it's gonna take to fix.
Well, it could be anybody that could have damaged that, for one thing, because if it's a culvert or whatever, the tube,
Yeah.
why do you think the fire truck did it?
Cause a fire truck drove over it. You see the path right there.
Okay, that doesn't mean someone else hadn't driven over it on a
Someone else drove it, they would've went in the ditch.
Well, so would the fire truck have gone in the ditch, probably.
Who?
Pardon me?
I didn't hear what you said.
We'll have copies of the police report available tomorrow.